Hi, welcome back to the channel, A Busy Retirement with me, Georgie. Now, I did do the pantry revamp a few weeks ago and then it got put on hold. I needed more canisters, I needed more labels, printing. But what I am going to do now is get back into it so I can get it completed. And what's happened is with my spices, they're just sliding slightly off the edge of the rack that I made. So there's nothing to stop them falling. So what I'm going to do, you'll see the one at the bottom is missing. I've already taken that one outside. I'm going to measure up how much I'm going to need to close off. Just put a little barrier. I've got some aluminium flashing out there. I'm going to use that and just make little strips that I can glue onto the edge so it leaves a barrier there that the spices, the containers can't slide off. It is a bit of a tight, well, it's not really a tight fit, but there's not a lot of play at each end, and I couldn't have made it any bigger because then I wouldn't have been able to close the door. So that's today's project. So we will head outside and get working on that because the aluminium will need to be spray painted before I can put it on there. And I'm going to see if super glue will hold it in place. So let's go. Okay, so what I've got here now is my roll of aluminium flashing, the bottom rack. I've got the tape measure so I can see how much I need here. Then I've got this, the Stanley measure for measuring this, just because that will stay flat where this will keep curling up, as you can see. Then I've got the scissors to cut out the aluminium, pencil to draw the size, the line to cut along, and then I've got some bottle caps to lay the strips across ready for painting so that they're not stuck to the board that I've got here. Okay, so first thing to do is to measure this. Now I'm going to have to make sure I put an extra piece on to flip it inside. So I'm actually going to wrap, I don't know if you can see that, I'm wrapping the tape measure in so that I've got a piece on the end to glue back to the main one. So that's that one, and then do the same on that side. So I think 10 centimetres, looking at that, 10 centimetres is going to do it. Now, because a lot of the bending was done with me pushing by hand, it wasn't measured completely straight, but 10 centimetres is going to do that completely. But just for extra benefit, so that there's plenty of glue, I'm going to make it 11 centimetres so that I can have a nice piece on each side to wrap around. Okay, so I need two pieces. I'm going to do this one first, and then I'm going to have to get the other ones out, take the containers out, just in case they're not the same size. Okay, because if the other's a little bit wider, I need to measure each one so I know I've got the exact size of what I need. So grab this. Lay it out. Now I'm only going to make it narrow. I don't want a big, thick, wide piece. It might look a bit messy, so a narrow piece will be enough, and I think I might do 1 centimetre, because I think those holes were, yeah, the holes were 2.5 centimetres for each gap. So I think if I do it 1 centimetre wide, that'll fit in nicely. So I'm going to do 11, takes me to, oops, there. Yep. And 1, let me put it that way so it won't keep sliding back in. That's 11 there. Would be easier if I really need a board. I need to cut myself a piece of laminate shelf, I think. So I've got a proper board to work on here. That's 1 there. What I do need, what I should have done was brought out a ruler, because this, I don't think this is going to work. Oh, hang on, I've got one there. I've already got one here that I hadn't hung this one up in the shed yet. So I'm trying to clean out this shed that's just to the right of me. I'm slowly getting there, but it takes time. Whoops. My pencil's thicker than I thought it was. It's not sitting at the side of the straight edge. That'll do. And then there. Pop that in there. There's 1 piece. I did think about bending this over to do 2 at a time, but it's not easy to bend flat. Now, when you're working with the aluminium flashing, it's very sharp. It will cut you. So what you need to do before you use it on anything is get some sandpaper, which I forgot to get out. But you need to sand it down, and that will smooth it off and you won't get any cuts from it. So I'm just going to lay that down there. Do a small mark there, small mark there. Get my ruler, join the dots. There. Now, you don't have to buy the aluminium flashing. I bought it because I've got other projects I'm using it for. If you're only doing a small project, you can use a soft drink can, soda can, beer can, as long as it's an aluminium can, not a steel one that you've got your baked beans and your soups in. But a drinks can that's aluminium, it's exactly the same thing. and once you've painted it, nobody will know what can it was. So that's the cheap way of doing things, if you only need it for one project. But I have a heap of projects for this one. Now I need to find some, I'm gonna have to leave it there because I've got nowhere on here. I should have cleaned up before I came out. Just let me go and get some sandpaper. I've got a brand new sanding block, so that'll be handy. So I've got my 2 pieces. Give it a sand down. Doesn't take much. You'll have to do this with your soft drink can as well, or your beer can, whatever you're using, just to get the sharp edge off, and any little, you know, sometimes when you're cutting you get like a little burr on the edge part way down. So now I can run my fingers up and down it. There's nothing sharp. I'm not even getting cut. So that's all it takes, just a little bit of sanding. So I don't know if you can see on that one there, right here, there's a little piece sticking up. That could be dangerous. So once we've gone across it with the sand paper or the sanding block, just make sure, because it will bend in, make sure you sand it right off, because any sharp bits left behind, where did that go? Down there. Oi! Any sharp bits left behind will cut you or poke you. That's still got a little bit of a issue where that little burr was sticking up. Let's see if I put it on there, if it will help. And it won't matter if your aluminium's getting scratched and gone dull, because you're going to paint over it anyway. And paint would stick better to a slightly scratched surface than it will to a shiny one. So I'm going to do both. Let's get rid of that piece because I don't want that one. Oops. Okay, so I'm going to go and get the other 2 racks and measure and cut those, and I'll come back when I'm ready to paint. Okay, so I'll be back soon. Okay, so that's all done. I actually did find I found a small piece of melamine, so that came in handy for doing the rest. Now what I've done, I've already cut them out, but when I got the other racks I wasn't sure of the width here on all of them. So what I did was I numbered them. That's got a number 2 on it. But when I measured, after I'd finished measuring, they're all exactly the same. So 11 centimetre length is going to do all of them. Because originally what I did was I numbered those, and then I was putting I put number 1. I've numbered the board, so I've got a number 1 there, and those 2 then would belong to number 1. But now it doesn't matter. They're all cut, they've all been sanded down, they've all been scratched. And I don't know if you can see, I'm actually using bottle tops, the milk bottle tops, and that way they're not sticking to the wood when I've finished. I'm just hoping they're going to be okay, because there is a little bit of wind around at the moment. The aluminium's very light and I can't put a weight on them. So let's hope that wind doesn't pick up and blow them all off. So that's the problem. You work with kids, animals and outdoors, you can't guarantee what's going to happen. So luckily there's no kids or animals around here, but there is the outdoors. And yeah, who knows, a crow could come in and see and go, oh, bright red, wonder what that is, and start pecking at it. There's a lot of crows around here. They steal the decorative stones out of my garden. Find them all over the place. All right, so I've got the same red spray that I used for the racks. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to give them a light spray, and that way they will dry quicker. And I can do a few coats throughout the day and have it all finished before dinner time tonight. What time is it now? It's nearly 10:25. I doubt I'll have it finished by lunchtime, but we can see. I really should put some plastic on my workbench. It's actually getting destroyed with paint. So, okay, there's one coat. So what I'm going to do now while that's drying is I'm going to go back into the computer, do up the labels that I need, the ones that I hadn't finished for the other containers, which you don't need to go through that with me again. You can look at the label, I did a video on how to create labels, so you can have a look at that one and see how that's done. So I'm trying to get snuggled up. It's a little bit chilly out here today. It's a beautiful day, sun's shining, there's only a tiny little bit of cloud out there, nothing worth worrying about, but the air is very cold. So I shall be back when I'm ready to put these onto the racks to show you how I glue them to fix them. Okay, I could glue them on now and do it, but then they're a nuisance for painting and getting in around them, so it's easier to do it this way. All right, so I'll see you later. Okay, so I've now had the 2 coats of paint put on my bracing strips. So all I have to do now is attach them to the spice racks. So they've had 2 coats on each side. Move that out of the way. And sometime this week I'm going to have to clean off this table that's behind me because it's a mess. I can take these number stickers off because I don't need them. Now what I'm using is, this is Loctite Super Glue Power Gel. Don't know if you can read that. I'll zoom it in. When I do the editing, I'll see if it's not legible. I'll zoom it in for you so you can see what I'm actually using. Now, as with all super glues, you have to be very careful, because if you stick it to your fingers and you don't pull them apart quickly, you're stuck like that for a while. It doesn't actually say on here, probably said it on the packet, but that's been thrown away. I don't know how long it takes for it to dry, but usually super glue is pretty quick. Now what I need to do is bend this around, and what I've got is, I have different sets of pliers from the needle nose to quite wide. Now these ones, as you can see, are not that wide, so they just fit that, if I can get it straight, perfectly. See that? So I haven't got it oversized because I'm going to need to be able to get it through here. Maybe, I don't know. I think I will, because I'm going to have to tighten it. So I need to see, I think I set it to 1 centimetre, didn't I? For it to be That's 11. I'll do it from this side so you can see what I'm doing. I'm actually putting that across so I can see how much I've got to fold over. Now each of these was 11 centimetres. So I look like I'm going to be able to do 2 centimetres on one end. So let's bend it at 2 for the first one, which is there. Pop my pliers on and I moved it down a bit, so I've actually got a rounded edge. So what I did was I started there, bent it, and then I moved it back down and bent it again, so that will fit around the round post. Don't know if you can see that in there. Whoa! You see it's hanging from it. Whoa, now I've lost that. So now what I can do is open that up a little bit. These containers are really good because rather than have a glue that you have to push and then it just spurts out, this comes out slowly by pumping these side pieces. So I just do a little bit, and because it's a gel it doesn't run. See, I don't know if you can see that. Let me bring that really close. You can see that? It's just a tiny little bit. I'll dribble that onto there. Might put it on that side first because I've got to make sure it fits on the lower one, on the short front side. Press the two pieces together. Make sure they're straightened up, and then get your pliers and give it a squeeze. Now that's not level. I'm going to level it up, make sure they're flush with each other. Right there, and then squeeze that. I mean, I don't know if it'll work in there. Okay, so that one's now stuck on. I've got a bit on my fingers, I can feel it. So now we're going to do the other side. I'm going to do it from here and hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Bend that over. Make sure they line up. You don't want one there and then one sticking out this way. That worked. Now I'm going to pop. Oh, not that one. I need to pop some glue now into this one. Squeeze. I put a little bit too much in there, it's going to get all over me. And then squeeze that nice and tight. Squeeze from behind. And that's it done. Now that's dropped a bit. Move it up. So I've now got a brace on the side so my spice container won't fall off. Now I'll do this side and then I have to do these other two. Now, I don't think you need to watch me do all of that, so I'll get on with this and then I'll come back and show you them on the pantry door, and also how I've rearranged everything in my pantry. So I'll see you when I come back. As I was doing these, I was thinking, you know, you're probably thinking there's an easy way to do that, George. Well, yes, there is. Okay, what I did was to finish these off. I got that. It's hard to do because I do it close to me. It's hard to show. All right, so pop it on there, bend them in, and then you've got it where you want it. Now, that was quick, easy. Now I've got to get the glue inside there. So now I've got to take that, open the flaps a bit, pop the glue on, pop. It's harder to see what you're doing, but eventually you get there. Pop the glue on, close them up, line them up, close them up. And then squeeze. Now that one didn't work too well. That's why I find it easy just to do one at a time, because I haven't bent it round enough. That's all right, it'll do. That one's not quite in line. You can see now that's poking out, and I don't want that because then that's going to push it away from the door. So I'm going to try and move this one and pull it a bit tighter. That's tight. Managed to get it before the glue had actually dried on it. They're harder to line up doing it this way, because you tried to line up two at once instead of just one at a time. But yeah, you get there in the end. That one might need a tad more glue, we'll see. So there's the three all done, ready to go back in the pantry. I might leave that for about, let me see, is that, yeah, so they're dry. That one's not. Might leave them for about 10 minutes, that one for about 10 minutes, and that should do it. Because that one, this first one was dry by the time I finished the second one, so won't take long. Okay. See ya back indoors. Here are the spice racks now on the pantry door, and I don't know if you can actually see, but I've actually got my spices all in alphabetical order, so I know where to find them when I start to make something. I do still have 4 empty containers. Now there's a couple more. I want to get a turmeric, I want to get a citric acid that are required for a couple of the recipes I've got. But I'll also have a look at some other recipes and see if there's anything else. But I've got 4 spare in case I need anything else. So that's how it looks. Nice and neat and tidy. And the rest of the pantry, I will show you. This is it. Might need to lift it up a little bit so you can see the top shelf. Let me just adjust the camera a bit. And then this is the rest of the pantry. This is what you can see from the doorway. Everything's labelled. These are not in alphabetical order. These are more in categories. So at the top, like I've got all my pasta, noodles, whatever, going down to the flours, the sugars. I still have to make a label for the caster sugar container, which is hiding around in the corner. I'll show you in a moment. And then these ones here. I do have some spare containers, as you can see here, just in case I've missed anything. Tomorrow's Thursday, it's pension day, so that's my big shop day. I'll make a list of what I need, go through my recipes to see what's missing, and then I can finish it off. And then around, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this because my pantry is so tiny. No, it's not going to come in. Let me see if I can take the camera off without making a mess. Okay, so get me and my camera inside, and there we go. So there's the top shelf. It's got my popping corn and my unsalted peanuts. And then you're not going to be able to see me, but I'm going to go down slowly and show you. So I've got a shelf there with other bits and pieces. I did think about putting the cream of tartar, the gelatin, the baking powder into spice containers, but I thought there's no point. That would mean having to make another rack and then buy another set of containers, and there's 12 to a set. So, and then down here is all my tinned foods, and then down here I've got all my spares. These are all the spares plus all my cleaning tissue, tea bags, and I'm getting there slowly. Pop you back on the stand. Okay, so that's the pantry done, basically. Like I said, just a couple more things. Excuse me, I've got a bit of a, I don't know what's going on, my throat keeps catching. Excuse me. I can feel something. I don't know if I'm coming down with something, but you can hear my voice is starting to sound froggy. So this is it, all done, bar a few bits and pieces. So I hope you enjoyed that little bit of extra work on the pantry, and I will see you in the next video. Actually, no, we need to go back to the office and do the word puzzle. Nearly forgot that. Okay, so I'll see you in the office. Oh, it's actually Thursday today. I didn't get round to finishing the video last night, Wednesday night, to get it up on time. So it gave me the opportunity to go shopping this morning, get everything I needed. I've now got a completely full set of spice racks. So the 4 herbs and spices I didn't have were the citric acid that I wanted to get, the turmeric, thyme and garam masala. So I've now got those. They're in alphabetical order, and this is the completed spice rack, or herb and spice rack I should say. So that's it. We finally got to the end of the pantry, and now we can get on with the word puzzle. Okay, I'll see you in the office. I hope you enjoyed that little video on the completion of my pantry revamp. I hope you got some ideas from it and maybe a bit of inspiration to do a revamp. It doesn't have to be your pantry. It might be your bedroom, your laundry, your bathroom. You know, if I can inspire somebody or give somebody ideas on how to do things or make things, I'm always happy to be able to help. So I am sorry this video didn't go up yesterday on Wednesday. I am working on my big patio, outdoor patio, the big enclosed one. And when my friend across the road is available, because I need her sometimes with the big heavy stuff. There's some things I can't carry on my own or move on my own. And she was in fine form yesterday, so we got that done instead. So that's another video coming up very soon. So, yes, the word puzzle. How hard is it? Word puzzle. It's only 2 words. Anyway, last week's was this one. How did you go with it? An inside job. Did you get that one? I'm sure you did. Anyway, for this week, here is your new one. This one I think is really easy, and I'm sure you will all get it. So see how you go. You can pop your answer down in the comments, or you can send me an email. Putting comments actually helps to boost my video. Giving me the thumbs up also helps to boost my video. And if you are watching and you're not subscribed yet, I'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe, boost my numbers. That gets my videos out to more people. And if you have any family or friends who you think would enjoy watching the videos, or if they're into craft or gardening and they need some ideas, I hope you share my videos with them so that that can boost my numbers also. And yeah, let's all have a great time together. I do enjoy seeing your comments and I love replying to them, having chats. There's a number of you now that we've had some communication, and of course I've got some family and old friends that have joined, so I do get to chat with them as well. Anyway, I'll stop waffling and I will say, because it's Thursday, have a great evening, daytime, whatever the case may be where you are. Have a great weekend because it's not far off, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.